All right, what is up, takers, and welcome back to Ty's Take Today Live. You guys already know I go by the name of the Tyler Belts, and I am your creative broadcasting director and host. We do this each and every Sunday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I already see y'all. The viewers are watching, so I'm going to make this real quick, and we're going to get started. I am super excited to talk everything behind the scenes, on camera, off camera, in between shooting. We are talking everything about the agency today, and joining us in just a couple of seconds is going to be one of the stars, two of the directors. Like, we are just loving everything the agency. So I'm going to get through this little introduction real quick, and we're going to bring our guests on tonight. So if you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram at It's Ty's Take Today. Be sure to hit us over on Facebook at It's Ty's Take Today. And then if you guys haven't already, YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us at It's Ty's Take Today. We try to keep it real simple for everybody. You can get caught up on past and previous episodes, as well as see who is on future episodes of Ty's Take Today. And then if you're old school or you're just looking for something to read, it's not updated nearly as much as our Facebook or our Instagram, but TysTakeToday.com as well. If you guys are currently watching live on YouTube or Facebook, be sure to share your thoughts, share your take and perspective. Let us know if you've watched The Agency yet, if you're planning on watching it tonight, and just where you're watching from, because we have fans and viewers all over, and we are about to dive into a hilarious TV series on Tubi. It's like Parks and Rec, but like The Office, and just hilarious. And we're already speaking into its existence. So there's gonna be a season 2. We're already speaking on it. We've talked to Heather Kiles. We are going to be talking to Daniel Crago, aka Monique Madison. So without further ado, I'm going to bring tonight's guests on. Make some noise virtually. Hey, Tennille and Emory.
Hello. What's going on? Hey, everybody.
How are you guys?
Good. Excited to share more with you.
Absolutely. So I'm super excited. So I really want to just dive in. We're going to be talking about, like I said, the agency, what's next for you guys individually, and really how each of you both got started. And tell us a little bit about your guys' selves.
Yeah. You want to go first?
I was just going to say, you want to go first, Steve?
No, go first.
Sure. I got into storytelling at a young age, so I used to write little scripts and stuff like that, but really took it serious when I got into my 20s. Went to a school called Specs Howard, which kind of doesn't really exist anymore. It's now being taught at Lawrence Tech, but I after graduating Specs Howard, I got right to the ground running into like film productions that were blowing up here in Detroit. So like all the major films that were coming here, I got to be like, nothing big, but like a production assistant and stuff like that. So after the incentive went away, obviously the movies went away, the bigger budgets and everything, but Detroit kind of still held it down for the indie films and stuff like that. So it still existed. At that time, I basically kind of gravitated towards more industrial shoots and stuff. And I kind of swayed away from filmmaking just because I was getting a family and I needed to make money and stuff like that. And film wasn't really making a lot of money for me back then. So, but my passion for filmmaking has always been there. So, mostly my life consists of filming commercials, again, industrial videos, documentaries, and things of that nature. But features and stuff like that, obviously, is where my heart is. So, I've always been involved in that since I started. And that was like 2006. So long time.
Yeah. So I started really about 10 years after that. So I started filming in 2016, and it was a short film. And I guess I could say like about 4 years prior to that, to kind of piggyback on Emory and the incentives, because that was a good time in the state, but I was kind of late to it. So I was on the set of like one, feature film. And so it was pretty amazing though, because I got to kind of stand back and listen to how they were making the film. And so that was actually pivotal, because then in 2016, some friends of mine asked me to be in a short film, and I was like, heck yeah. but they didn't really have like rehearsals or locations. So I just started like putting that stuff together because I really wanted it to happen. And so that's how I fell into producing. So that's where it really like, came to mind, because here it had been like 4 years since I had done that, that big film. And I was like, okay, instead of like waiting like 5 or 10 years for every role, why not just make my own stuff? So, so at that point, it was one film in 2016. And I think Emery and I met right around that time.
Yeah.
That's when he was working, we hired him on at Ford. So I was able to kind of, for a while there, move this passion into my day job. And so it just kind of grew from there. And then I started looking around and realizing, okay, I'm like the, oldest person and, kind of like one of the only females on set. I was like, if something goes wrong, they're going to look at me. So that's when I decided like, okay, I need to make this more legit. So I got an LLC and a insurance policy and a website and, all that kind of stuff. And so really just, producing for my love of acting and, also producing like, you bring people together and you kind of make something bigger that you cannot do on your own. So it's a pretty cool feeling.
Absolutely. And for both of you guys, what was like the selection or the audition process, or like take us back to like the very beginning of the agency?
Yeah.
What
So
did it look like?
we'll answer that question first since you're asking specifically. So we were really very locked down with the casting. So we had probably at least half of the cast chosen, just like handpicked, and asked them if they wanted to be a part of the project, and they said yes. And then we started kind of like bringing in like, other people. So that's how Heather Kyles came in. So it was the first time we had worked with her on that. And then I had worked with Daniel on A Holiday I Do. So I was like, yeah, I think we should bring him, in. He deserves something, bigger, based off of his energy and desire. So it was really just kind of an organic thing. I've done a couple of open casting calls, and it can be disappointing, especially when you become friends with some of these people and then you have to tell them no. And so I just kind of learned through some previous projects that I didn't want to like get people's hopes up or things like that. But maybe you can fill them in, kind of how we came up with this idea.
Sure. So we were actually on a road trip, kind of going and doing a documentary at that time.
Mhm.
And we're just thinking about the next project that we're going to take on and everything. Tennille really wanted to kind of look at, television and, what we can actually do with that and everything. And she kind of already had an idea that was kind of in her head that she wanted a very like office-y. She wanted to be in an office kind of environment. She wanted it. I think the first idea, what was it, a Bitcoin mining?
It was Bitcoin. Yeah, for some reason we went to Bitcoin first, but we
Yeah,
wanted improv. Like that was my big
Sure,
thing.
that was
I
definitely the
wanted
thing.
improv.
Yeah. So we were thinking about like our favorite TV shows. We're obviously The Office screams heavy on this show. But we were thinking of Curb Your Enthusiasm. We thought about Seinfeld. We thought about all these things where the talent usually gets to run a little bit with each, with their lines and within the scene. And we just thought that would be a ton of fun. And we knew that, if we got the right people, that it would be a blast. But yeah, so we're sitting in the car on this long road trip. We're, heading down to, I think, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of time to talk. And then so like midway through, we're just thinking about Bitcoin and how we're just kind of running into a wall already. I'm like, why don't we just get into something that we know, like keep the office vibe, and let's go an agency that's like a talent agency. And I, we can have all of Tennille's general ideas of how she wanted the chaos and everything like that. We just kind of flip it and switch it over to what we kind of have an idea of, which is like, how, actors and actresses get hired, and, the complications that can follow that kind of situation. So we kind of just ran. We got very excited, and we just kind of ran with it. And and then Tennille start making the right phone calls to the right people.
Absolutely. And for both of you guys, being off camera and, behind the scenes producing, what has been some of the biggest challenges or obstacles that you guys faced with either this project or just even your guys' like own individual journeys?
Yeah. So, off the top of my head, it's the same as everything in life. It's time and money. So, there's always, needing to come up with the money, to get the locations and to pay people and, buy food and, things like that. And this was a really, really minimal, budget project. And so people knew that going in. There was actually like an invitation video, explaining, what the setup was and, what it was promising and not promising and things like that. And so definitely, money is the big thing, I think. And then the other thing is always time. And that's what we kind of ran into like as we were going through the project. So, what Emery was talking about was like, the fall Christmas of 2022. And
Yep.
then in March of 2023 was when we brought the writers together. And so at that point in time, I was in the office 2 days a week. And so since then, like I'm going more and more and more back to work. And so I feel like my time, just keeps getting like restricted. And so yeah, those, have been the two struggles, for me. But Emery, I don't know if you have any other things that you struggled with
Absolutely.
in this project or others.
I mean, in projects in general, basically, I'm going to piggyback off of you. Budget constraints are always an issue, right? And we're dealing with independent, film or media, and budget's always an issue when it comes to stuff. Obviously, there's people out there that have the means or the connections to get what they need to make what they want. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough thing to kind of tackle. And the budget, once you get that down, whether how little or how large, it allows you to kind of foresee what you are capable
Mhm.
of accomplishing in whatever project you're doing, such as the agency. Of course, we had time budget constraints on that. It was a very, very low budget, very indie style piece, but man, that just makes me more proud of the
Right,
piece
and we
that
really leaned
yeah,
into that, like, indie low budget, like, I knew what the budget was, and I knew we were gonna get 1 day of filming, so for anybody that wants to
yeah,
know, it's only 1 day of filming per episode, and I
yeah.
would say normally, even in the indie space, that probably would have been, 2 to 5 days, in normal situations, but how we really formulated that was I was like, okay, you need about an hour to set up and an hour to clean up. So that literally leaves like 7.5 hours to film by the time you get your lunch.
Yeah.
So the way that, so I work in the automotive industry, very like engineering related. So just how do you get things to box? And so I just like did a formula like, okay, we want to do 30 scenes or 30 minutes. Let's write about 1 page, per scene to get it going, the setup of the scene and the dialogue, and then give the actors the opportunity. So essentially, we had 15 scenes and they each got 30 minutes. And so that gave us about 2 takes per scene, which is a little like stressful for people because sometimes, you get as many as you need. Until you get it right. But again, that's where the chaos kind of comes in that sense that, resonates through the show. And I really feel like the actors leaned into it once they knew like that first weekend, like, okay, we get 2 takes and we did have 2 cameras. So we were able to get any spontaneous moments or reactions or, responses, very organically. But we basically, had about 2 takes. And so people really try to give it their all. And so that helped lean into the efficiency and getting it done in one film day.
Absolutely. And now, Tennille, I want to talk a little bit more about your characters. So you played Dusty Bottom. For those that haven't seen or may have never heard about the agency until today, until watching this, can you tell us a little bit about your character and kind of like how in real life you,
Yeah.
as creative and the creative person that you are, kind of can relate and like maybe the differentiation
Yeah.
with Dusty?
Yes, sure. So, first, I would just like to disclaim that really all of the characters are a derivative of who we are in real life. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that was part of it. So, the writing was very specific, to the people. We tried to just kind of enhance, what they are or who they are. And so I feel like Dusty is an extra version of Tennille as the producer and the actress. So we really tried to make it funny. I feel like in my real life, I'm trying to create opportunities for other people, but I feel like Dusty, was quite opposite, that she was hoarding them for herself, which was really, funny. So there's a lot of elements, about Dusty, just like being extra and over the top and, things like that. But then I definitely feel like, she was just fun because I get to really express her with clothes, if that makes sense. And, just really get to have a lot of fun with that. So even like outside, now that the show is over, I'm still buying Dusty outfits because it's just fun to have that excuse. So.
Absolutely. And for you, Emery, you wear various hats. So behind the scenes and directing, filmmaking, editing, you're an educator. You've been involved in so many different projects.
Done your research.
Absolutely. And like, how have all of these various roles and sectors like played into who you are as a person and as the creative that you are today?
Oh man. So yeah, there's a lot of years of experience there. I'm getting old. So being in any position to where you're going to take on film, especially in the indie world, it's a roller coaster ride full of heartaches and victories. So being that, like, when you think about Michigan film and everything, I would like to stage myself as saying that I am loosely a part of the Michigan film industry. Just because of what I said before, I kind of went more of the industrial route. Now, my love for filmmaking oversees all of that stuff. I would love to just do film for the rest of my life, and all the other stuff can just fall to the wayside. But yeah, being a filmmaker in any of these categories, whatever it may be, commercials, music videos, whatever it may be, yeah, it does make you grow as a person, because you do face the reality that a lot of people face in any kind of job that they have, that where there's struggles that present themselves and everything. But I'll tell you this, Michigan is one hell of a place when it comes to taking on struggles and overcoming them and everything. And I'm just a small part of that. So yeah, the reason why that I got granted to be a part of this terrific project, it's because of my relationship with Tennille and some of the crew that was a part of this. And me and Tennille have always had a want to kind of create something together. And when this fell on our laps on that road trip, we just kind of hit the ground running. So yeah, I mean, it did grow me. Yeah, sure. It makes you kind of like a little bit more thicker skin, because you need that in the film industry, no matter where you're at within the industry. So yeah, sure.
Absolutely. And for those that, like I said, may be a little late to watching, because it's been out for a little while now. So if you're watching this and you haven't watched it, you guys need to get caught up. But I say that to say, can you tell us a little bit about, like, for those that maybe haven't seen our interview with Heather, or I know Josh Johnson, or Daniel Craig, Monique Madison, like, tell us just a little bit more. Caden Bryce, Melinda, like, tell us just all around, like, can we get a brief description of, like, just this all-star cast that you guys
Yeah. So Emery, I'll kind of start with like how people like started coming on, and then you can help correct me if I missed anybody or any steps. So like I said, March of 23 was when we got the writers together. So that's when Melinda Bryce, Matt Santia, and Kendra Renee Sanders, or no, Sanders. gosh, she got married. Now I'm like having a brain fart, but
Right.
Kendra Renee. So we have 3 writers. So that's really kind of the 5, key folks, Emery and I, and then the 3 writers. So those are the people that like consistently I will share good news, bad news, go to them for input, things like that. So definitely tried to make it as much of a democratic and a learning process and sharing information. So that way, as other people are doing projects, they can also be learning from this project, as if it was their own money. And so that was the starting point. And then from there, we quickly developed who was going to be like that first layer of cast, if that makes sense. So obviously Kaden was in, since she's Melinda's daughter. Daniel was definitely in at that point. And then I would say it really just slowly started building from there. Like we really started kind of pulling from people that we had worked with in the past at first. So that would be like Dan Pesta and Dale Dobson. So we had done like lots of different projects, with them. So we're like, we definitely got to fit them in somehow. And then from there, we named Melinda the casting director. So then that's when she brought in Ophelia, or, Heather Kyles, to play Ophelia. And then she knew Josh and Katie from like other projects. So she brought them in. And then it was really kind of fun because 3 of our crew members are also, part-time actors as well. So Joseph, Bradford, and Brett, they were all, gaffers, grips, data transfer. So they all had something that they were helping with on set as well. So it was definitely Iron Man filmmaking for sure. So, and then from there, as people were finding out about it, they would reach out to me and then we would try, to weave them in, somehow. So we probably had about 20 day players, I would say.
Absolutely. And for you guys now, because everybody's watching on Tubi. I know West Michigan is doing the thing. They're watching. I know Arizona's watching. Metro Detroit's watching. So it's the fact that it's a predominantly, it's all Metro Detroit or Michigan cast, right?
Yeah.
Like shot in Ferndale, shot in Royal Oak.
Yeah.
So like to take this as a local small indie film, small in quote marks, and then like to hear that people in West Michigan are watching and Arizona, like this is something that everybody can watch. It's free on
Yes. Yes.
Like, so what, for those that may have not watched yet, what's the reaction been like from your guys' friends, families, colleagues, coworkers? Like, what's the overall like feedback been thus far?
So for me, so far, it's been extremely positive. So definitely feel like the actual, response has been way more positive. So text messages, I guess the thing that I'm most excited about or proud of is family, really taking to it. So I did a lot of like horror thriller, which was really fun to make, but not everybody's into that. And so I feel like they're all like really getting this. And so I did like a group text to family down in Mississippi, and my mom and dad actually have like a little cameo in episode 4, the drag bingo episode. They came for the show. And so they all watched, the season. And so it was just really fun to watch them like text message, like what episode they were on and, what they thought and all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing that meant a lot was my niece, after she watched episode 1, she sent me a video where she was doing the Dusty Pizza commercial. So those were the 2 things that meant the most. But yeah, definitely getting more outreach from, friends, family, coworkers than any other project.
Absolutely. And Emory, for you, I'm sure probably piggybacking on what Tennille said, it's probably been obviously a positive experience and feedback, but any moments or highlights, just even through like the feedback that you've gotten thus far from loved ones, or even like just memories overall being on set that you'd like to share with us?
There are a ton of memories, great memories on set. Even the stressful memories are great now. Now that we're through it,
Right.
So even the very stressful points inside of the show, that not only our cast probably dealt with, but definitely our crew. Yeah, those are great times. But as far as like family and friends and all that, I really am happy, especially if any of them are tuning in or anything. I really am happy that they all like showed up. They all watched the show. I got, so many text messages. It was crazy. Facebook messages, so Instagram, nonstop. And they better actually watch this show. So, but yeah, what was cool is I even had old friends from my old neighborhood in Southwest Detroit, like hitting me up and telling me like, "Hey man, I'm gonna check the show out. I just checked the show out." That I'm like, "Man, thanks a lot, homie. That's that's awesome." But yeah, so that's really cool. And then I love actually hearing about what people feel about the show. So when they hit me up, and I'm not asking for them to do it, but they'll hit me up and they'll say things like, "I really hate this character." I'm like, "Sweet." You're supposed to hate that character. So I actually really enjoy hearing out what characters people like, they dislike, what scene they thought somebody just slayed and stuff like that. I got a lot of people that really enjoyed that episode 8 and episode 4, where there was some good monologues, some good parts in there that people kind of really dived into their characters and really went off the rails on it. It was great. It was great. Daniel was one of them that had a great scene in episode 8 and had that that ending thing, the ending scene. Well, it was towards the end in episode 4. I mean, I'm just off the top of my head and everything, but yeah, man, I love it, and I love hearing what people think about it. I'm still getting the messages. Hey, man, I'm still planning on watching it. I'm like, dope, man. Let me know what you think about it. But yeah, the memories like that on set are awesome.
Absolutely. And I feel like there's even been people that have told me like I've already watched all the episodes 3 times. Like people aren't just watching it once, people are watching it multiple times.
Sure.
And I mean, kudos to you guys, but also you mentioned being from Southwest. So I have to we posted a little teaser about tonight's interview, and somebody has said, don't forget, Emory, to tell them that you're just a kid from Southwest Detroit living out his dream. You go do the damn thing. So
yeah. The hood would hate me if I didn't mention Southwest Detroit. So I wouldn't be allowed back. But yeah, Southwest Detroit, of course.
Southwest had to be mentioned. For both you and Tennille, are there any themes that you guys may have like hinted at this series and may want to like even explore further? Or was there any topics or themes that like maybe we'll get a taste in season 2 when season 2 drops? Because I'm already saying there's a season 2. So we've been since our interview with Heather, we've been saying it. And I feel like as long as everybody is tuning in, supporting, sharing, following on Facebook, and reviewing,
we definitely would love to do a season 2. I mean, I do have it outlined. There is something on paper. There are, definitely talks, but like anything else, it does come down to the time and the money. So the way that streaming works is you typically will get your results once a quarter. And so I'm hoping, early mid-fall, we'll kind of know how the show is doing, and then, make an educated decision if it makes sense to, take on that responsibility again, or, do we just kind of let it mature a little bit more? I was just, watching Wednesday on Netflix. Season 2 just came out. And ironically, when Emory and I drove down to Tennessee, that show had just come out in the winter of 22. So it's almost been 3 years, since they did a season 2. So I definitely would love to do a season 2, but just, if it makes sense, because it was so organic the way everything lined up for season 1. And it would really require that to happen again, for it to happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So kind of like a double-headed question for both of you guys, and whoever wants to take it can take it. For those out there, first of all, why should they tune in? What do you guys each hope that viewers take away? And then like you said, it comes down to finances and budgeting and just making sure that the numbers make sense to even think about it this season. Is there like any crowdfunding or any ways people can get involved if there's like maybe local businesses that may be interested in working with?
So I think what would be probably an approach for season 2 would be aligning and teaming up with sponsors, so like going to a location and maybe filming, one location at a place that, would like to be featured for 22 to 24 minutes. So I definitely think that there's like some, creative ways of doing it. But again, they're going to want to see our numbers, being business people. So it's all going back to the numbers. And the reason why I think that people should watch it is because it doesn't take anything too seriously. And that's where we kind of need to be right now. Feel like everybody's so darn serious. They're going to have like an aneurysm or something. So this just gives you like a ridiculous world to be in, for 3.5 hours if you watch all 8 episodes. And, there's a few people you might see yourself being friends with, and, a few people you'd probably be frenemies with. So it just gives you like a wide variety because there's 16, cast members in the ensemble, and there's a few people there that you will definitely resonate with. And if you like The Office or Parks and Rec, you will definitely like the show.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to let you go ahead and share your response to those two questions as well. But I also want to share some pictures. So let's start off by, if you guys haven't already, you guys can scan that QR code that's currently on the screen. It's going to link you directly to Tubi. You can create an account. You can watch for free. You don't even have to create an account. But I just wanted to show a little bit of, give them a little taste. I love the photos and the stills that were selected for promo purposes. And then of course, we also have behind the scenes of both of you guys. And just you guys had fun with it. And I think that's like the most important thing. Like you guys are all friends on camera, off camera. And it's just it's a very diverse and uniquely creative group of cast members and behind the scenes. So I wanted to show the pictures because you guys look like you guys have fun. And I have to also ask you guys, personally, would you take on the client of Ophelia?
I definitely would. Yeah, I definitely would. I think that people like Ophelia have a big heart. They just have a big bite, or bark as well. So but also just knowing Heather and how sweet she is, I think you kind of like look at them both as the same person. So
Yeah, 'cause I was I'm sure the question itself was like, without a doubt, we would want to love to continue working with Heather.
yes, absolutely.
Would we tolerate Ophelia? Cause and then shout outs to the little dog too, because shout outs to Daniel,
Yeah.
his
Yes,
dog.
Daniel's little dog.
If
So
if you guys are looking for a golden doodle for the next season, I have
okay.
the cutest dog, so he's available.
Yeah, maybe we start representing dogs at the agency.
Yes, absolutely. And before we go, we're gonna play a quick game of rapid fire. So what we'll do is I have a set of questions for Tennille. I have a set of questions for Emory. They're completely random, spontaneous, fun. You don't know what I'm gonna ask. But really just like any other thoughts additionally before we get into like the fun questions. And I know, we have your guys' Facebook and people can follow you guys on TikTok and stay up to date, of course. But I think really it comes down to telling your friends and family and just coworkers, and really let's get everybody to go ahead and click on Tubi and watch.
Click.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
No, I would say one thing before we get going is you were speaking on season 2 and everything. And the biggest thing I took away from the want for season 2 was I think it's awesome that I do get text messages, and I know Tennille does too, and social media messages as well. But when we were wrapping season 1, and knowing that it was such a small budget, and people weren't being paid like their actual day rates. People did this for the love of filmmaking. But when we were done, when we all huddled up after episode 8, one of the first things they had mentioned was like, we have to do a season 2. And these are from people that, just worked an episode in one day. And I thought that was really cool to actually hear it from the people that just, was working in the trenches with us, making the show happen. And that was like a really cool takeaway to have, that these people were ready already for season 2 and everything, That was cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, because I mean, for those that may not have seen our previous episodes, it's how long approximately roughly did it take you guys, like from like the idea to finish?
So we started March of 23, and I would say August of 24. So March, April, May, June. So 17 months. But then you've got to add, so it was done like in August, and then we had a premiere that October. And then in January, we found our distributor. And then in May, it was accepted by Tubi, and then August 1st. So it's a process. Yeah, it's definitely a process.
Absolutely. And all right, so y'all ready? We're gonna play a quick game of rapid fire, like this or that. Tennille, you are up first. If you had to pick stage acting or screen acting.
Screen.
Any particular reason?
Because I really don't do stage acting. That's like so much time. Like you have to give up like 6 weekends in a row, and I'm usually on a baseball field. So I have to do, film.
Absolutely. Detroit style pizza or Coney dogs, if you could only pick one.
Detroit style pizza for sure.
Toppings. Pineapple.
Just pepperoni and mushroom, pretty plain.
Sounds good. Sounds what I want right about now. If you had to choose somebody to play yourself in like a documentary or
Reese Witherspoon.
I love it. Okay. So, side note, I'm sure you probably have the morning show, Apple TV.
I don't have Apple TV. I've got to get it.
You can totally use mine, but it is so good. It is so good.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Yeah, for sure.
I got you. One word that co-stars would use to describe you.
Anal.
Or staff.
Anal.
Emory, what word would you use besides talented and creative?
Organized.
Oh, okay. I'll take that. I mean, that's just a nicer word of what I called myself.
No, we need that. That's exactly what a producer's supposed to be. The whole reason this show got done is because Tennille had everything laid out. It was like down to, the minute. It was good. We even did shot maps of each scene.
Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah.
So we had like a diagram of where the cameras needed to be, like on paper, and the lights.
So it could be like quick.
Yeah. I directed it, sure, but like this team kind of, helped so much. Like we had only one day to do this thing, so like Melinda will be off on the side, like helping an actor get ready, and I'm sitting there with Peter and Sean, just like, all right, guys, so just, this is what's going to happen.
It was
Peter's giving his advice. Yeah, it was like everybody kind of working together to make this thing happen.
Like an assembly line.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Tennille,
that's a good reference.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Is there any type of dream director or even actor or actress that you would love to work with? I know, I think with me and Heather, we talked about any local talents or just anybody that you would like to work with.
Is that for me? Or for you?
I think so.
Oh,
is it Emory?
Either can take it or both.
Oh.
So for me, it would be Steven Spielberg. I mean, just because he did E.T. I don't know. He's just, I feel like he's got the golden touch. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Why mess with it?
Steven Spielberg's best. Did my favorite movie, Jurassic Park.
Ooh, wasn't there a new one? I haven't seen the new one yet.
Yeah, that's a new one. Thousands of those.
Yeah. So then you guys can both just take these questions. Do you guys have a favorite Detroit landmark or hidden gem?
Yes. Mine is also in Southwest Detroit. It's Los Galantes. It's a Mexican restaurant. Sorry, I know you worked at
Yeah,
Social
I
Locos.
worked at Xochimilco, so that's like our enemy, okay? So,
Sorry, that's
so yeah,
horrible.
mine is my home. So in Southwest Detroit, like where everybody in Southwest has probably visited at one point or another. I was right next to all the schools and everything like that, and it was on Verner. So like that house is like a landmark in itself. But besides that, maybe the train station. There's just so many spots in Southwest. It's like the Hispanic culture, the Mexican culture is just beautiful, and yeah, there's just so much. Yeah, no, my house.
Absolutely. Spend a day in Southwest with Emory
Heck yeah.
for sure. Tennille, if Dusty Bottoms wasn't who she currently is, what job do you think she would have?
I think she would try to be like a TikTok store or QVC host, maybe like something like that.
Yeah, I could totally see it. I could totally see it. So for you
Maybe
guys,
doing spray tans on the side. I don't know.
tattoos on the side, maybe.
Yeah, something like that for a stream of
Absolutely.
income.
Okay, I see it. For each of you, what is like 2 items you guys have to have on set at all times?
For me, it's my clipboard by far.
Yeah,
I
I
need my
think it's
clipboard all
everywhere.
the time. And then I would probably say my phone so I could be texting people and, taking photos and, referencing stuff and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for me, the script, storyboards if it's there, and of course, an
The
assistant.
maps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you got those things, you got a good AD or whatever, you're gonna be sailing.
Absolutely. And for both of you guys, before we get out of here, what's next? Like I said, season 2, the agency. Tennille already said we talked to Melinda when we interviewed her, and I'm sure you guys already have probably like something in the Rolodex for what's next, if these numbers continue to grow like they have been. But aside from like the agency, do either of you have any other additional projects? I know like a lot of the times I ask this question and it's kept under locks for legal purposes.
Oh,
If you guys
yeah.
can disclose, we're just gonna have everybody follow you guys on social media.
Yeah.
Is there
So,
anything aside from the agency that you guys are working on?
no, at this point, I am supporting others. So I'm going to be supporting Melinda and Matt on their feature film Delirium. And, if Daniel does a feature film, I want to support him. So I feel like everybody was so supportive for me, for the agency, Chasing the Ghost, If I Can't Have You, that it's really my turn to now serve others. So that's more so the approach that I'm taking.
Absolutely. I think it's so much like you guys are a family off camera.
It's
camera.
definitely a family, a community. So you got to give and take for sure.
Absolutely. Emory, same thing. Any
I
project
mean,
you're
everybody that's
like in this like supportive season?
yeah, anybody that was on that set and they know who they are. Obviously, if they needed my help, I'll be there for them and stuff like that. But for now, I'm developing a class right now for Lawrence Tech, and I have a couple of scripts that I'd love to kind of finish and complete or whatever. But again, like what we said at the beginning of this whole thing, is budget is kind of the budget's the budget. It's kind of hard to get it all together. So especially if you work like we do at normal jobs and side gigs and all that. But if I was to say like get the budget together, yeah, there's around 2 films. There's a short film that I did back in 2020 that I would love to complete and kind of make a feature out of, and everything. The talent that was there in front of the cameras were amazing, and it would be nice to complete something like that. And then yeah.
Actually, can I pause there? Because I want to give Emory props for that film. It's called Help Wanted. And he actually has an A-list actor that's in it. I guess maybe he's not like name recognized in every household, but he was the star of My Life with the Walter Boys on Netflix. So he was Cole, the oldest son. And so Emory casted him like before he got that big gig. And so I just want to give you props for
it was my project that made him blow up. No, I'm playing with you. No, yeah. Oh, yeah. He had great. Yeah, that was great. And yeah, I'm glad he's doing so good and everything. But that was that project, thank you, Tana, I appreciate that. That project had a cool meaning, and tackled topics that a lot of people are afraid to talk about and everything. So it'll be cool to kind of to finally release something like that and work on it. It'll be cool. But yeah, that's it. Nothing kind of down the pipeline yet, but those prospects are definitely there.
Absolutely. And before we get out of here, of course, we're going to share your guys' social media in the description of this video and in the captions, and we'll put it on the screen and you guys can let everybody know where to follow you. But before we get out of here, as long as both of you are okay with it, we're going to actually share a trailer of the agency. And then we'll get to some live comments. So if anybody's watching on Facebook or YouTube watching live and you guys want to chime in, we've got some comments coming in, so we'll share those as well. But let's go ahead and share the trailer really quickly.
I have big news. Oh my God, you're pregnant. What?
Desi.
No. The Ophelia Sparks is interested in being repped by us. Y'all ain't ready for me.
I mean, she ain't gonna be handling none of this, right? It's gonna be all you, baby, right?
All me, baby.
She was canceled for a reason. She should stay canceled.
Nope. No more soap operas.
Date night debacles? Decent pay.
Abso-freaking-lutely no more reality TV. I'm over it.
Ophelia Sparks, she's a sparky one, isn't she?
Parker's got an idea. Oh, is he the gay one?
Parker, the gay one, at your service.
DTA is gonna produce. She's probably got a knife as a musical parody.
Dusty, when will you learn? Being famous isn't about telling the truth. It's about protecting your reign.
I think everything started to change after Deepak Chopra's masterclass.
Well, this ain't working out for me. Ain't nothing in here up to par, Parker.
DTA is a talent agency, Dusty, not a goddamn production company. What the hell is this even?
You are a terrible actress, and you're running this agency into the ground.
I quit, baby! I'm done. You're done.
I'm not done, Bob.
I run the place, I run the space, I run the scene that light up the face. I run the place, I run the space, I run the scene.
Here's to staying uncanceled.
Yeah.
Never gets old.
That was just a taste. Tennille, I need to know how you did the scream when you looked at your makeup.
Yeah, it was pretty horrific. So it was just a reaction to my reflection.
I love it. We're gonna get to the comments as well. And I know, let's pop them up on the screen. Shout out to my mom. My mom is always watching, so much love. Good job, Tyler. Sean Murphy checking in said, absolutely love the show. I rewatched it a lot already since it came out. So just wanted to share some love, and also be sure to let everybody know where to follow you guys online as well, so that they can stay connected on the agency and future projects.
Yep. So for me, it's the Film Chick on Instagram, and on TikTok, we're actually the agency_Detroit. So don't forget to follow us there. And then on Facebook, we have the agency TV series. Yes.
Absolutely. Emory, you as well? Any social medias or where anybody can follow and connect with you?
Yeah, definitely. Same thing with the agency for both Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. And then for me personally, for Instagram is E_G_Reeves. And then Facebook is just my name, Emory Reeves.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you guys so much for giving us part of your Sunday evening.
Absolutely.
And much success. I know everybody's been working extremely hard. So definitely the flowers to all of you guys. And we're going to continue to feature the agency on our platform. And
thank you.
You're talking to actors and actresses and behind the scenes, and really just fully promoting Detroit, Michigan made talent.
Yay.
I can't thank you guys enough.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you.
And I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk soon.
You too. Have a great night, guys.
You as well. And then once again, shout outs to Tennille and Emory from the agency. I'm going to pull up on the screen one more time where you guys can scan that QR code and you guys can watch. So if you haven't already, the agency is currently streaming on Tubi. It is free. and it doesn't cost you anything. So be sure to go ahead and scan that QR code. Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends, because we're all about supporting local talent who are extremely creative and successful and deserve all the flowers. Currently streaming on Tubi. Be sure to check out the agency. And one last time before we get out of here, I'm going to let you guys know where to follow us on social media. And we're going to get out of here for tonight. But Instagram at Is Ties Take Today, Facebook.com/Is Ties Take Today. Of course, YouTube, if you want to see previous episodes or get caught up on or just in the know of what's coming up next on future episodes of Ties Take Today Live. YouTube at It's Ties Take Today. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, let us know so that we can let you know when we have future episodes. And that's going to do it for tonight's episode. I thank you all so much for watching and so much for supporting everything that we do. We do this each and every Thursday and Sunday at night, 6 p.m. Eastern. So once again, thank you to Tennille and Emory from the agency. And be sure to currently stream the agency on Tubi, and let's tell all our friends and family members so that we can get another season 2, because it's in the works. So that being said, thank you again to my guest tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be right back here on Thursday.